I posed a question for you guys, and I put it on the screen. Boom, there you go. So I think Nas was answering it, but since we got everybody here, I just want to I want to know, what do you guys do to escape? Like if y'all had a bad day or something where you just want to block out your mind, you don't want to think about things. What is some things that you guys do? Somebody raising their hand. What's up? Go ahead.
I do all those things, honestly. I'll binge watch a show, I'll scroll through social media. I might have a glass of wine or two, or I might even honestly drink the bottle, depending on how I feel. Depending on how I feel, but most time might be a glass or two.
Okay.
I also love to crochet. I started realizing like that's my out now. Like when I don't want to be bothered, I just go crochet something or figure out something to crochet. So
Okay.
that's yeah, to answer that question.
That's good. I mean, crochet wouldn't seem like it's a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. However, it's like if I know like if you need to clean your house or you need to do the dishes or you need to wash your clothes or go to work and stuff like that, I would literally X all of that just to crochet all day.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That could be seen as a good alternative. I definitely would say that can be a good alternative to maybe going to get on social media and scrolling or whatever. Because I know that's something that I would do if I'm going through some. So I'm like, I'm gonna get on social media, and then we run into the thing when we get on social media. Sometimes make you feel worse than what I'm saying that you did when you first before you got on there. So yeah, that's. I mean, I would look at it as a good alternative. Well, the thing that I wanted to talk about today is called uh escapism. Have you guys ever heard of escapism? If
No.
not, okay. So I'll define it for you. So escapism is defined as a coping mechanism where a person routinely uses an activity or behavior to distract themselves from life realities. Have you guys ever? We talked about that, so we're talking about that, and that is something that when we do those things, it's hard. What I'm saying, for the spirit to really like work in our lives or whatever. This day and age, a lot of people like to say that they're non-confrontational. They're, it's a lot of people that saying, well, research shows that the high level of stress and anxiety, the constant pressure to succeed contributes significantly to these behaviors. So when we're just trying to avoid things, and maybe we might, get online and do these things or whatever, like we can't really, we become like, I would say, numb to the things that are going on. So then you have certain relationships suffer. You know what I'm saying? Things that you need to do, you don't put off too long and stuff like that because we are trying to escape. Like we don't have that contentment that that about our current situation. So it's this thing right here is not something it's not something that's new or anything like that. Like, and that's what we're gonna look at today. So we all know about King Saul. We all know about David or whatever, but we're gonna go back through the story to see how, he escaped, his the things he was going through. So let's go into the word. So right here, we are at First Samuel chapter 16. Now, at this time, Saul has won battles. He has did all these things or whatever. But last week, what happened? We saw him just disobey God, and Samuel, which is the prophet Samuel, kind of chastised him for that. Well, after that, we skipped a couple chapters, and he has done that again. This time when he did it, he offered another sacrifice and trying to win the battle himself and going before God. God gave him orders and he wanted to do it himself or whatever. So he didn't want God orders. So he did the exact same thing again. And this time, that's where you get the famous verse where it talks about God wanting our obedience more than he wanted our sacrifice. That's what Samuel said to Saul. So when he did that, Samuel, God told Samuel, I'm taking my spirit, I'm taking the kingdom, everything from this man. He doesn't want to follow me. Now think about this. I know some people will say, man, that's cruel, but if God put you in a position and you have this position is so, Lord, thank you. This position, you have such a great responsibility. It's not you, it's not just you that you are you're ahead of. It's you got a whole kingdom, you know what I'm saying, that you have to worry about. You have people that's subject to you, you have families and all these different things. So it's a great responsibility. And God put you in this position. And now you telling him, I don't want to listen to you. I don't want to listen to you. I want to do it my way. And that's what happened. Saul got big headed and he wanted to do it his way. And the biggest thing that we saw last week, the reason why he wanted to do it his way, because he didn't have a relationship with God. It was no consistent prayers or consistent, reaching out to understand God or anything like that. So what you think is going to do? Power corrupts. So once you get this amount of power and you don't have any morals or anything or any connection with God, then you're a man, you flawed. So you're gonna start wanting to do things yourself, and that's what happened. So another battle came. He didn't do what God wanted him to do. He allowed the people to kind of sway him into going before God. And then Samuel, the prophet, had to come and chastise him, like, look, bro, like God is not pleased with you. And I'm letting you know today that he's taking the kingdom from you. And y'all know what happened. He started to get stressed out. He started to, feel this anxiety. Now the anxiety is coming back because he doesn't have God. So that's where we at right now. So we're gonna dive into the scripture. So um right before this, just to let y'all know, right before this is when God called David. And Samuel had to go and see about David. So right after this is when David was called to come and play music for Saul. So it said, now the spirit of the Lord had departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from the Lord tormented him. Saul's attendant said to him, see, an evil spirit from God is tormenting you. Let our Lord command his servants here to search for someone who can play the lyre. He will play when the evil spirits from God comes on you, and you will feel better. So whenever the spirit from God came from Saul, David would take up his lyre and play. Then relief would come to Saul. He will feel better, and the evil spirit will leave him. I thought it was so. I thought it was so. I thought it was kind of just ironic where it said the spirit of God left him, and then an evil spirit came upon him. What do you guys think about that? Go ahead now.
It's interesting because you didn't go over your study with me, so I didn't know that we were ending back up here. But remember, we started here.
Mm,
So, like, when we started at this chapter, we started at the point of David being chosen to work in the kingdom, right? So
mm-hmm.
to hear it from a different perspective in terms of just looking at Saul and escapism, it's kind of like that gateway, right? Like he was saying the God spirit left him and then the evil spirit had power, I guess, or had ability now to enter him because God's spirit was no longer with him. So it
Hmm.
was kind of one of those things where when I heard that, I'm like, wow, so does escapism mean that instead of trying to fill the void with God because we feel like his spirit has left, we're trying to fill it with other things? Because in this case, he was filling it with music.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what was also so significant about that particular verse is if we go back, he allowed another person to tell him, "Hey, man, I think this is what you should do. We need to go and find somebody that could play good music, man, because that's what you need, bro. You need to get some music in your life, get some joy, and I'm telling you that's gonna be it. How many times have we allowed people to kind of like sway us when we know, like, I know, now I used to be like, what's wrong? What's going on? And I used to be like, nah, but I know that the Holy Spirit is telling me to do something that I didn't do. You see what I'm saying? Like we all have a moral compass. Remember, God created each and every one of us. And he created us with a moral compass. So we know when we're doing something wrong. The Holy Spirit tugs on us. But it's up to us to, receive that calling. And a lot of us don't want to receive the calling because we know that with that call, it's great responsibility.
Hmm.
He was going to have to humble himself and give up his authority to God. Instead of him saying, you know what, hey man, I don't feel God's presence. I need to repent. I need to say I'm sorry. The funny thing about it, like, and I didn't go into this or whatever, but like I said, when he disobeyed God the second time, he went to Samuel came to him and said, hey man, you do it wrong. God is gonna take this kingdom from you. He's done with you or whatever. He said, the next thing out of his mouth said, man, please pray to your God. He said, pray to your God. Now think about this. This is the king. This is the king of the Israelites. This is the king of Israel. Now, God is supposed to be his God too. But that shows you where he was at in his life. He didn't want anything to do with God. He just wanted the position. How many of us just want the position? And then when it comes, and when God say, you know what? Nah, because what's so crazy about it now, and I'll get back to it. But it's not that God wanted to take him away from the position. He gave it to him, but he don't ever want to give us anything that is going to take us away from him. He doesn't want to give us anything that's going to take us away from him. So he he's like, shoot, I'll remove it because really what I want is you. But it's crazy that Saul didn't he didn't see it like that. All he was thinking about it is himself. So when it comes to him feeling these feelings, of course he's not reaching out to God. He's going to try to escape any way he can because he knows if he bow down to authority and he asks for repentance, it's going to come with him actually having to obey. A lot of us have problem with obedience, including me, including me. We're gonna keep going. Any thoughts on what we just read?
I just realizing how ignorant I am to not know, all the things about, what God wants for me and building a relationship with God. Like I just didn't know. And, now that I know, it's like I want to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, like doing my best. And it's not easy, however, but yeah, just realizing like, dad, we really, because it was something earlier today with the book that I'm reading. It's like we really don't be fearing God like we should. And it's like, wow. well, we'll fear people and rejection and all those things.
Mm. And that's, man, he said it talks about that in the Bible, man. The beginning, and I'm paraphrasing, but it's basically saying the beginning of life starts at the fear of God. Now the world is gonna tell you, why would you want to serve a God that wants you to fear him? But see, if you open up that word, you'll understand what type of fear he's talking about. He's talking about the fear of disappointing, not the fear, oh, I'm scared of you because you're gonna do this. No, but you know God has been so good to you that you just fear disappointing him. You know God done brought you through certain situations. You know that God done, put you in certain positions. The most important thing, you know that God is giving you eternal life. And you fear like, Lord, I'm so sorry. We should want to get to that place where we feel so hurt when we do things because we're so grateful. So I commend you because right now life is starting in you, Tasha. Life is really starting in you. And if you keep allowing it to work on your heart, you're going to receive that peace that you're looking for. Just keep going. We're gonna keep going with this thing. Let's dive back into the scripture. So that was the first time that he had escapism. The second time was a big thing that we know. It's First Samuel. This is First Samuel 28. Now, setting the scene for this, all my people that's been here from the David story. This is after the numerous of times that he, tried to fight David, try to kill David. He has killed he has killed priests. He has done all these different things because why did he do all these things? Let's see if y'all remember. What were some reasons he did these things when he was in pursuit of David? Why did he do some of these things?
Envy.
He did it because of envy.
That's the
Okay.
only thing that come to mind, really, like, because he know, yeah, envy. Honestly, he was worried about the wrong thing.
Okay. Okay. So I love this. Now that we got a different perspective, a different background, why do you think he did this? Some of these things.
Oh, you slick, because God wasn't with him.
God wasn't with him. When God is not with you, bro, like you become an animal. You know, the only thing that separates us from animals are our morals, right?
Hmm.
The only thing that separates us from animals are morals. People like to say, them dog lovers, man. Man, no, man. My dog, man. Yeah, he knows his master. He could probably save you and everything like that. But when it comes down to real morals, like he can't. He wasn't wired like that. We was given something that no other being on this, what I'm saying, other kind, I would say, on on this earth has. We have morals. And then God gave us the greatest gift that anyone could give anyone, and that's free will. When you truly love someone, you're not trying to cuff them. As we, our colloquial terminology is I ain't trying to handcuff you because if we're really in love, then I don't have to force you to do anything. So God is not trying to force us to do anything. So when you see Saul doing all these acts or whatever, yes, God would like him to turn away from these different things, but he's not going to cuff him. Because again, when you do that, then you forcing love and you don't get no type of love at all. Go ahead.
That's so interesting that you say that because is it does putting that into perspective, like, we just celebrated our 12-year anniversary on Monday. And when I look back, I'm like, I am way more willing to like listen to you now than I was 12 years ago. You know what I mean? So it's like that relationship, as it continued to form over time, that obedience develops. Not that I have to be obedient necessarily in that way, but it's
Yeah.
like I'm more willing to say, okay, what he said made sense. I'll listen. Versus like 12 years ago, I'll be like, I hear you, but I'm gonna do what I want to do anyway.
And, and I love that because to be honest with you, you're not falling in line as they would say. You're not falling in line because of that. You falling in line because we have a structure.
Right.
Because I'm falling in line too.
Yeah.
I would tell any of my daughters, "Hey, look, if that man right there ain't following God, that's it." Because what people don't understand is that's why he said you have to. It's imperative. Take the time. Find someone that you're equally yoked with. Because once you yoke yourself with that person, that's it. I expect you to stay with them for better or for worse. It's nowhere in the Bible that you're going to find where he's going to say, hey, you divorce this person because they get on your nerves. You're not going to find it.
With that being said, though, God, of course, not abuse and things of that nature are not.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
of course. Of course.
You
Of course.
don't,
Yeah.
and sometimes you don't know that a person is gonna be that way when you yoke yourself to them. So,
Well, that's one thing that I would say, and we can get back to it or whatever. I would say that before you're thinking about going down that aisle, man, take some spiritual counseling. Take some spiritual counseling and really be praying fervently for God to show you. You know what I'm saying? Should you be there? Because at the end of the day, God expects you to stay in the marriage. Of course, if you getting beat up and of course he doesn't want anything like that. But just because a person get on your nerves, even to be honest with you, even if a person, if you serve God and that person don't serve God and you married them, it talks about that. And in First Peter, I think it's in First Peter or Romans. I get y'all the Bible verse, but it talks about that. Hey, wives, and when they say wives, it's just talking about either or. Wives, hey man, if your spouse is not serving God, stay there and make sure that you're doing what you need to do so that one day he might turn. And I'm paraphrasing it, but that's what it's saying. It's like through our actions that person, your spouse, should get to know Christ. But the crazy thing about it, you have to, it's imperative. If you're not married right now, link yourself, yoke yourself with the Father, get a relationship with Him so He can show you what love truly is. So when you really start searching and you really start getting out there, then you'll be better equipped to make a wiser decision. This ain't even my study, Nas. You're
I'm
doing too
sorry.
much.
I'm
Ain't my
sorry.
study, man. But yeah, so let's get back to it. So like I said, right now we are I think Tasha said it. He was riddled with envy. We now we know why he's riddled with envy because through all those situations, just a whole bunch. Y'all gotta understand, man. Spirits are real. Like spirits are real. So when you talk about, I'm sorry, like we got little nets, bro. We in Mexico, but yeah. So spirits are real. Just like we have the fruit of the spirit, the love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, you also have the fruit of the flesh, which is envy, malice, strife, sexual immorality, all these different things or whatever. These are fruits of the flesh. So if you continue to eat either one of those, what you think gonna happen?
You're gonna grow, you're gonna bear that fruit.
You're gonna bear that fruit. The Bible teaches us we will know them by their fruit. So if you're lying, what are you? Wipe my hand. Well, if you're a liar, what are you?
If you're
Like, or
lying,
if you're lying, what are you? You're a liar, right?
Mm.
If you cheating, you're a cheat. You're a cheater. You're bearing that fruit. We can see it. You know what I'm saying? If you're an angry person, hey, to be honest with you, like real talk, if you really want to go to the Bible, if you're angry and everything, Jesus took it a step further. You say you're a murderer because you allowed your mind to do these harmful things in your mind towards this person because you are upset. You don't even want to pray for that person no more. So that's why it makes so much sense to stop escaping. Stop escaping. The Bible teaches us we need to focus on things that are pure, that's edifying. Because if I'm telling you, when you try to escape after an argument or you do these things or whatever, and you go, it's thank you, Lord. I'm on my health journey right now. So now I'm only eating certain things and trying to, I'm about to be 37. So I'm like, all right, man, I need to get right. So I'm training my palate to to want certain things other than what I wanted before. And I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. It's definitely hard. But it'll be so crazy and counterproductive of me to go and work out. And when I work out, then I'm feasting on these burgers. I'm feasting on pizza. I'm feasting on, all these different things that is not serving my body, is not helping me grow at all. And eventually what's going to end up happening is my flesh is going to take over. And I'm gonna say, what, matter of fact, I ain't gotta work out today. And if I don't work out that day and I'm still eating the same way I'm eating, what's gonna happen?
you're gonna gain back all the weight.
Oh my goodness. If y'all didn't just get that, if y'all didn't just get that,
Big bag, big bag.
if y'all look, a big back. If you didn't just get that, if you guys just did get that, you guys, let me hurry up. God done saved you. Why do you want to gain the weight of the world back? Why do you want to gain all that stress back, all that anxiety back? He's trying to move you forward. That's crazy.
That's like attending Bible study every week and just
Uh-oh.
listening and
I ain't
not
say,
letting it
look,
apply to
I
yourself.
ain't say all look, I
I'm
ain't say
just
all that, but
listening. I'm talking to me. I'm just talking to I'm thinking about myself. That's like just attending, being involved in Bible study, listening to the word, having input, and not even allowing it, not even applying it to your life, not even walking in the word, not even, you know what I'm saying?
mm,
And
Woo!
mm.
that's tough because, that's shoot, that's a waste of time. That's escapism right there. That's just a
Yeah,
whole waste of time.
A
yeah.
whole waste of time. A whole waste of time. Let me tell you something, and we're gonna get back to it. I'm gonna make a declaration to you guys. And I can say it. I know I got God's authority. And I can literally say it. God wants to free you. He wants to free you right now, literally right now. All he is asking of you is you to give it up. Whatever you're doing that is going to keep you from receiving his spirit, give it up right now. In the name of Jesus, give it up and don't look back. You might not feel something right now. You might not feel, what I'm saying, something right now, but give it some time. Give it some time and do not look back. Don't be like Lot's wife. She loved her sin so much that she was willing, that God had already told her, hey, if you look back, the angels told her, if you look back, that's it. But she loved that sin so much, that she was willing to lose her life for everything. It's not going to last. It's not going to last. Give your life to God today, all the way. Don't look back. It's nothing there for you. Let's go on to the word, man. Y'all give me too hype, man. Let's go on to the word. All right. Now, like I said, he has he has went through all these things or whatever. David been eating on the fruit of of God. So he's getting the, you know what I'm saying? He's getting the fruit of the spirit. He's getting this patience, he giving this love. Um and this kindness, self-control and everything. He's had and don't get me wrong, David has had his little things along the way, but he hasn't allowed it to knock him off the course. He maybe stumbled a little bit, but it hasn't knocked him off the course. Saul, on the other hand, he is traveling this path that is leading to destruction. Now we're in the final hours of his life. And God has basically, the Philistines are approaching him or whatever, and they gained on him. They about to go to war. He's scared out of his mind. He don't know what to do. So what does he turn to? What do you think Paul what do you think Saul turned to at this time?
Well, isn't this after Samuel had died?
This after Samuel had died, he can't contact Samuel or anything.
That was
Matter
his
of,
go-to, right?
the funny thing is Samuel had already left him a long time ago before he died. He
Mm,
hadn't talked to Samuel. He hadn't talked to Samuel since that day that he tried to make another sacrifice.
mm,
Right before the spirit left him, he hadn't talked to Samuel since that day.
mm.
So that's why he was going more and more, becoming more and more evil because he didn't have nothing. I'm gonna tell you like this, him. If you're not ready, continue to go to church. If you're not ready, continue to try to listen to some scriptures. If you're not ready, continue to come to Bible study. At least have a little bit of God in your life, man. He said the faith of a mustard seed can move mountains. But once that mustard seed is gone, that's it. Pure evil. And you saw that it just kept transforming him into this evil guy because he didn't have no form of God in his life. So, of course, when this happens, the final hours of his life, he turned to escapism.
Tashay has her hand up.
Go ahead.
Oh, you were saying what do you think he did? I felt he went to go talk to people and not God. That's one of the things he did.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. He did. He did. And we about to see. We're about to see what happened. So let's read this thing. You know what? Matter of fact, Nas, could you read for
Yeah.
me, please?
The Philistines assembled and came and set up camp at Shunem, while
Yeah,
Saul
Shunem.
while Saul gathered all Israel and set up camp at Gilboa. When Saul saw the Philistine army, he was afraid. Terror filled his heart. He inquired of the Lord, but the Lord did not answer him by dreams or ermine or prophets. Saul then said to his attendants, "Find me a woman who is a medium, so I may go and inquire of her." So Saul disguised himself, putting on other clothes, and at night he and two men went to the woman. "Consult a spirit for me," he said, "and bring up for me the one I name." Then the woman asked, "Whom shall I bring for you?"
Mm, mm, mm. Let's keep
So
going.
I do have a
Uh,
question before
I'll
we keep
go ahead.
going.
Go ahead.
He consulted God first. So he did try to go to God first, but was it just a thing of like, since God left him, he was no longer going to answer him, or was he just needing to be patient with God's answer?
Let me tell you something. You're Mackenzie and Peyton's mother. You've
Yeah.
been their mother for 10 years. So you know when they are telling the truth and when they're not.
Mm-hmm.
All 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 Saul wanted to do is just receive, some type of, good talk. Sometimes we go to we sometimes we just turn on the hmm, sometimes we go to you know to these churches, or we might go, read the Bible, or we might turn on a thing or whatever. We don't want to change our heart. We don't want to change our heart. But at that moment, we know that we need something that's other than this world.
So it's escapism,
It's
by
escapism.
Nikita's point. Okay.
It's escapism. Go ahead, Tasha.
Is escapism a part of desperation?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, because that's
For
what I was
sure.
saying. He had desperate times for desperate measures. Like I said earlier, people call on God, but they don't know God. And you could call him all day, but he knows your heart. So that's basically what I was saying, like what he did. So I just wanted, it sounded like he was out of desperation. He honestly just wanted to see, like, let me just double check right quick before I go here.
He already knew. He
Mm.
already knew. And it's so crazy because you'll look at it and you be like, dang, why God doing like that? Bruh, he loved God.
So I guess I just want to get some understanding, because the Bible teaches us that we can repent and turn away at any time and God will accept us back into the fold. So was the problem that he did not repent? He wanted to continue living how he's living and basically call on God when he feels like it, but still be disobedient, still, have the desire to kill, just all of these things. He wasn't willing to change his life. He just wanted God to help him real quick. Is that what we're witnessing right now?
We most definitely are witness to that. When we go through the scripture, it's nowhere in there that he's like, I'm sorry. Yeah, he went and asked Samuel to pray to his God, but it's no time that he went and stood before and got on his knees and humbled himself and asked the Lord to forgive him. When we're looking at this right here, this scripture, where else in here is it saying like he went and said, "Hey Lord, please forgive me." Go search it. Matter of fact, that's what this study is for. Please go search it. Go see, because you're definitely right. If he would have humbled himself and asked for forgiveness, you don't think that God, bro? I told you the other week, he doesn't delight in any of us missing out on the kingdom. Even the people that, like the worst ones. So y'all need to stop throwing dirt on their name. He don't delight in nobody missing out on the kingdom. People out here talking about Diddy. People out here talking about Trump. People out here, he don't want nobody to miss out on the kingdom. And when you see these people going through what they're going through, it's God stopping them in their tracks before they just completely lose it. We don't know, bruh. We playing a video game that we don't know when we gonna lose out on here. But I'm gonna tell you this: if you follow God and you commit yourself to actually loving Him and ask Him in your heart and turn away, it don't matter when you leave this earth, you already done won. The more that you try to escape and not allow the Holy Spirit into your heart, you just playing Russian roulette. Literally. Don't get up there and get upset. You can't get mad. Because literally, he been tugging on your heart the whole time. What did we say? 40 years this man was serving. God gave this man 40 years to change. 40 years. Stop playing with your life. It's a reason why you here on this line today. Stop playing. Give it to him all the way. Let's keep going. Oh yeah. One thing that I wanted to bring out. I don't know if any of y'all on this line and y'all playing with this stuff. Don't be out here and be consulting with these fortune tellers. Don't be out here on these Ouija boards. Don't be out here with this astrology. None of that stuff. That is not of God. I'll make a stand right now and tell you right now. It's not of God. It's not of God. I also want to make a stand too, and it's gonna probably be a little bit controversial, but I also send you scripture. If you feel like, let me make sure I get my word up because I want to make sure it's there. It's on this tablet right here. Give me 1 second. All right. If you guys ever feel like that your loved ones, your dead loved ones talking to you, they have came back and gave you a word, doing something like that, that's not of God. Your loved ones is not looking down on you. They not smiling and happy about that. First of all, I'm gonna put it in a logical thing. If God said that there will be no sorrow, it will be no pain, no crying, or anything in heaven. If your family has gotten to heaven and they looking down on you and they see you struggling with different things and they see that you might, the Holy Spirit tugging on you, but you're not responding or whatever. Do you think that's gonna make them happy or you think that's gonna make them sad?
Sad, of course.
So you think that God is gonna allow your loved one to be in heaven looking down on you and be sad when he said in his word that it will be no sorrow? Now that's a logical thing, but I'm gonna go straight to the word. It says in Ecclesiastes 9, verse 5, for the living know that they will die, but the dead know nothing. They have no further reward because the memory of them is forgotten. They're in their grave. They don't know anything. And then you might say, well, that's a coincidence. That's we can't get it from that verse. Let's keep going. 1 Thessalonians 4, verse 16 through 17. For the Lord himself will come down from heaven with a loud command, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trumpet call of God, and the dead in Christ will rise first. The dead in Christ will rise first. After that, we who are still alive and are left will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And so we will be with the Lord forever. We can keep going. Deuteronomy 32, verse 29. See now that I myself am he. There is no other God besides me. I put to death and I bring to life. I have wounded and I will heal. And no one can deliver you out of my hands. That's a verse. That's a verse for the fortune teller. For the fortune teller that tell you, hey, yeah, man, I'm hearing your loved one talk to you right now. It's no other being that can bring anybody back to life. And if you're playing with it, all you doing is playing with evil spirits that's talking to you. They're just talking to you. Get on your knees and start consulting with God and God only. Leave all that stuff behind. What they call it, necrocism or whatever. Leave all that stuff behind. You gonna have a day when you see your loved one. If they gave their life to God, I know this. I'm not trying to be harsh, but if they gave their life to God, we're gonna have a time of togetherness again, and it's gonna be a joyous time. But right now, you need to focus on your relationship with God because it's very important. Very important. Let's keep going. So it talks about it. So it says Samuel said, so the woman, the witch or whatever, mind you now, um, in Leviticus, it talks about any witch or any medium or anything like that. Like you got to put them out the count. So this is one of the witches that they put out their count. They can't live amongst God people because that's evil. That's evil. People will start trying to go to her before they go to God. We see it today. Some of us get on them cars real quick. Girl, or man, man, they just told me about something, man. I'm about to come into some money. Or you know what I'm saying, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We'll go to them before we go to God. So he's like, look, man, put them out the count. They can't come back in the count. So it was so crazy because when he went to this witch, she was like, man, you know, why basically like, bro, why you coming over here when you don't put me out the count? You know that it's an order that I can't be nowhere near anything or whatever, or it's off with my head. Like I can't do none of that stuff. He said, you know what? I promise you, you know what I'm saying? Like, I promise you that don't be afraid. What he say to her? He said, the king said to her, don't be afraid. What do you see? He wanted it so bad that he was willing to take back the order that God had given. How you gonna how you gonna take back an order that God gave? That wasn't something that he gave. That was something that God gave. Go ahead. Who on the line?
And first of all, if she know all these things, why she ain't know he was coming and where he wanted?
Come on, man. I'm telling you, I gotta add these people, man. I don't understand. That what you should do before. Let me tell you something. If you're gonna do it, see if they the real deal. Cause if they ain't know that you was gonna call it, like
But
you gotta figure
that's
it
why
out, man.
that's why you can't entertain it, period, Ken, because they are the real deal. They are the real
Yeah.
deal.
Don't yeah. Oh yeah,
They
you're right.
will tell you exactly
Let me
what you need to hear.
let me not play with it. I'm gonna tell you, bro. Spirits are real, bro. Spirits are real. And a bonus. Let me tell you a bonus. When you go into those stores that have all that liquor, what do they call them? What do they call the stores?
The wines and spirits.
Wines and spirits. Wines and spirits. People, this is not me getting on you or anything like that. I'm the same one. Not that far removed from, you know what I'm saying? You know what it is. I don't know if my kids in, but you know what it is. Your boy. And I've already told y'all on this line, hey, I ain't play no game.
Work in
Roll it
progress.
up. Work in progress. But I'm telling you, man, God wants to free you, bro. He wants to free you, bro, and he wants to see you in heaven. Put it down. Walk away. Repent today and be transformed. Don't be like Saul. Let's keep going because I got to get y'all out of here. All
Samuel
right.
said to Saul, "Why have you disturbed me by bringing me up? I am in great distress, Saul said. The Philistines are fighting against me, and God has departed from me. He no longer answers me, either by prophets or by dreams. So I have called on you to tell me what to do. Samuel said, "Why do you consult me now that the Lord has departed from you and become your enemy? The Lord has done what he predicted through me. The Lord has torn the kingdom out of your hands and given it to one of your neighbors, to David. Because you did not obey the Lord or carry out his fierce wrath against the Amalekites, the Lord has done this to you today. The Lord will deliver both Israel and you into the hands of the Philistines, and tomorrow you and your sons will be with me. The Lord will also give the army of Israel into the hands of the Philistines." Immediately, Saul fell full length on the ground, filled with fear because of Samuel's words. His strength was gone, for he had eaten nothing all day and all that night.
Lord, Lord, Lord Jesus. What y'all think about that, man? What are the thoughts out there? Go ahead.
If Samuel's supposed to be asleep, who is he talking to? The devil? Because the devil be knowing stuff?
Come on, man. You got to know.
Oh.
He said, "You're going to be with me."
Gonna be with me. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why I know it was the devil, right? I'm about to tell you the reason why I know it was the devil. Because let me go. Let's go back to the scripture. Let's go back to the scripture. I'm gonna let y'all see. He said, "The Lord has torn the kingdom out of your hands and given it to your neighbor David, because you disobeyed him, right?" He said, "The Lord will deliver both Israel and you into the hands of the Philistines tomorrow. And tomorrow you and your sons will be with me. The Lord will also give the army of Israel into the hands of the Philistines." Okay, let's keep going. Let me keep going, because I don't want nobody to get this thing confused. Let's keep going. I told you that nobody knows the future but God, right? Yeah, I remember that now. Hold on, let's go to 30. It's 30. Nope, it's 31. What did it say right here?
It's still on
What
29.
did it say? It's still on 29? Why?
On the screen.
That's crazy. It's on 30.
Maybe
It's on 31.
just give
I'm
it a
looking at you.
second. Okay. Can I help you?
Okay. Y'all see it?
Maybe it's just
Oh, there you
okay.
go right there.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. What does it say right here at the top? I just highlighted.
Ooh. Saul takes his life.
Saul takes his own life. The Philistine didn't kill him.
Hmm.
The devil is not dumb, bro. He ain't dumb. He know where you headed. He been he been probing on you for a long time, bro. He know where you headed. That's like somebody coming in and see that you are upset, you're very, very angry, and you got a gun in your hand and you talking about, I'm about to go spin a block. And then somebody saying, you know you're gonna you know that you're gonna die tonight, right? It's obvious. It's obvious that something very bad is gonna happen to you. It's kind of like Nas taught me some when we first got married. It's called a well, I don't know if that would be considered the bottom effect.
This is the self-fulfilling prophecy.
The self, so yeah, okay, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's inevitable. If you're going down a one-way street fast, and this is the 85, what's gonna happen?
Does everybody understand that the point of the self-fulfilling prophecy? Have y'all heard that before?
But basically, I'm gonna take myself out before somebody else do.
No, so the self-fulfilling prophecy is it's like a psychological phenomenon. So it's your beliefs and your expectations are so strong that you start to behave in certain ways that confirm your expectations. So like an example of it would be, you think you're going to lose your job and you just believe this so heavily that you're going to lose your
Mm,
job. So you start coming in late because you like, man, I'm gonna lose my job anyway. Or,
I'm at
while
work.
you're at work, you're underperforming because in your head you're like, they're about to fire me. So you, cause kind of like you gave up, but you gave up and your actions then created behaviors that made you fireable, if that makes any sense. Because you believe
Mm.
it so strongly, you start behaving in that way. And then ultimately, what you predicted was going to happen happens because you made it happen, basically. That's the self-fulfilling prophecy.
A form of manifestation.
Yes, exactly.
Also, like self-sabotaging yourself.
Yep,
Yep. Exactly.
exactly.
Exactly. And that's what I'm talking about when I say stop trying to escape. Because if you stop trying to escape and you really open that word, you're gonna find two things. You're gonna find that you're not as good as you try to say that you are, but then you're gonna find hope. You're not good, but it's okay because I am. I am, meaning God. I'm good enough for the both of us. And if you allow me to, I could transform you. I've already, when you heard of the people talking about predestination, it is a such thing as predestination. Once the fall happened, he predestined to bring us back into a right relationship with him. He had already predestined that. He already knew what he was going to do. He already knew how he was going to do it. He had already predestined it. Now all this other foolishness where, oh yeah, man, you know, I'm going to heaven, man. I already, asked for my, sins to be forgiven. I already got baptized and everything. Okay, keep playing. Keep playing around that middle. You think God gonna allow you to play around that middle and then wait, you know what I'm saying, and say, all right, yeah, Lord, yeah, hey, please forgive me. Bro, he ain't no lame. And it talks about not grieving the Holy Spirit. This is a marathon, people. It's a marathon. He wants to work on you until the day Jesus come back, or you die. He wants to keep working on you every day. So he's not going to accept anything where you just playing around. He's not.
He can't
He want
afford
all.
to.
No, he can't. And you shouldn't want him to, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm really, when I say working hard, it's not about your works, but I'm really like, when a person say, "Oh, it's about faith," well, show me your works, and and that'll tell me if you really got faith. Show me your faith by your works. I'm not coming up here talking about I'm holier than thou or whatever. I'm telling you, let's get it together, bruh. Let's leave this world behind so that way we could be up in heaven for real, celebrating, happy. And you know what? Let's find peace while we're here. Because I'm telling you, if you go down and you allow God to search your heart and go down deep into the crevices of your heart, and him start to spring clean your heart, he's spring cleaning, and he pulling out all these things. And if you take those things and don't try to hold on to them, and you give it up, when I say give it up, you call out on God and you say, I'm sorry for this. I'm sorry for that. And you go to your brother and you say, I'm sorry for wronging you. Or I'm sorry for wronging you, my sister. Or I'm sorry for wronging you, mom. I'm sorry for wronging you and all these different things. And you ask for forgiveness and you believe that Jesus is enough to die for your sins, I'll see you there. But if you want to, as he's cleaning out your heart, you asking him to clean out your heart or whatever, I could set the scene for you. We in the closet, I'm cleaning out, I'm saying, what about this? You're like, yeah, but I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need that. Okay. Well, what about this? Yeah, I just don't want to give it up because that was kind of sentimental. Okay. You better give it up. Because if you don't, he can't, you're not making no room for God to come and dwell in you. He said that we are the temples. We're God's temples. He want to come and dwell in us. But he can't if he don't have enough room. He can't. And if you continue to keep trying to escape, you're not going to allow him to, because you keep filling it up with the trash. All the things that's telling you you're not worthy. All the things that's telling you, hey man, work hard. All the things that's telling you to keep going, man. You know what I'm saying? Get this money, da 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 da. Bruh, you can't take it with you. They talked about Michael Jackson dying and he in his grave with his glove on. They talked about that his glove could have supported a private school, all the kids in a private school for at least a year and a half. They talked about Whitney Houston dying and putting stuff in her grave. You know what I'm saying, like clothes and jewelry in her grave and all that stuff. I heard something about Bob Marley, him dying, and he got a blunt, you know what I'm saying, and he got a Bible and all this stuff. Putting in that grave, where is that going? Is that stuff? Do you even think that stuff is allowed in heaven? And let's set the record straight right now. Don't think that heaven is anything like your church. Get that out your mind, bro. The only thing that you need to be focused on heaven being is that you're not gonna need a doctor. You're not gonna need security. You're not gonna need, any chiropractor, no psychologist, no therapist or anything, because it's gonna be nothing but joy. I can't tell you what you're gonna be doing, but I can tell you what you're not gonna be doing. Don't you want to go to a place like that? It's some of us that's tired right now. I'm done with the statement, man. I just want to give y'all a couple verses before we leave off on the thing. Isaiah, verse 26. Isaiah 26, verse 3. It said, you will keep in perfect peace those whose mind are steadfast because they trust you. Nowhere Saul went, he could find any peace. He couldn't find no peace. And it drove him mad to the point where he didn't want to be on this earth no more. Game over. It ain't say God killed him. He killed himself, took himself out the game because he couldn't find no peace. Two more verses. Romans 12, verse 2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. Stop going off of what you think God's will is for your life. Open the Bible and receive God's will today. The only reason why you're doing it and going off your will, because when you do it, you don't have no responsibility. All your thing is, oh shoot, we just trying to make it is what it is. It is what it is. Like you're not giving you're not challenging yourself. It talks about when we work out, When you get to failure, your body has 40 more percent to go. It's a study. Don't trust yourself. Trust God. Don't trust. I'm not saying don't trust your pastor. Don't trust that or whatever. But I'm saying go find out from yourself. Don't even, bruh. I'm just a messenger, bruh. I ain't nobody special. I'm just giving you the word and trying to intrigue you to open up the word. Don't take this study and say, "Oh yeah, I got my full, my fill." No, make this thing intrigue you to want to know more about Saul's life and what he did, what got him up to this point. And then go to David's life, and then continue to go to the kings and go to all, bruh. I'm telling you, the Bible is the greatest soap opera, the greatest reality show ever that you're gonna read. It's not a book of rules. It's not. It's trying to show you how good God is, bro, how long suffering He is, and how much He wants to save you. That's why bro. You can look it up right now. It's the greatest book that ever. It's the the most selling book out there. Still to this day, no other book beats it in sales. Why? Because everybody might sneak and read it. They might be sneaking and read it. They tell you that they atheists, but they really out there trying to figure it out. That's why every knee shall bow and every tongue will confess that He is Lord. Because they know, bro. They know. And they hearts of hearts. Last one, Matthew 24, verse 24. For false messiahs and false prophets will appear and perform great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect. Just because you go to church, bro, if you don't have no relationship with Him, guess what? You in danger. You in danger because somebody gonna come up here and say something smooth and cool to you, and guess what you gonna do? Yeah. We try to get this. What? I'm trying to receive a blessing today. And God said, bro, what? That is not the blessing that I'm trying to give you, man. I'm trying to give you, I'm trying to give you all the fruits of the spirit, that love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, and self-control. That stuff you could take along with you and have that for eternity. You think I'm trying to bless you with something that's gonna take you away from me? I'm not. So when you constantly running on that treadmill and you're not going anywhere fast, don't get mad. Be glad because He's not allowing you to run yourself into the wall where you run yourself run Him right out of your life, or you run away from Him. That's why He's not allowing that thing to prosper. Because if He get it, then He know you gone completely. Completely. Make sure I got that's it. It's another one. It's First Timothy 4, verse 1. The Spirit clearly says that in later time, some will abandon the faith and follow deceiving spirits and things taught by demons. Bro, we in 2024. This was written AD, like, like real close, like to like 81 AD, something like that. You see what I'm saying? We in 2004. That don't sound like today. Name any other book that can give you something like this. That can be that prophetic. Name it, name it. Show me another one. Go open up the Quran. You could do that. Choose who you're going to serve today and stick with that. Don't waver. Don't look back. Keep going.